Okay, in this video we are going to create tolerance notes on dimensions. And I'm going to let you do this on any drawing file that you've already created. We're just going to go in and pick some dimensions and add tolerance notes. So instead of starting a new file, this time we're going to go to Open. And in your files, how you have things organized, go pick any drawing file that you've got. Let's see here. I've got this auxiliary drawing, maybe I'll use this one. You could use any of these, it doesn't matter. So let's see, make sure I get the drawing file. I'm going to open it up. After you have it open, come up here and do a save as. And this will make a copy of it, change the name. And this time, let's call it 7.3. Take all this off. I'll just take off the widget too. So I'm going to call it 7.3 tolerance drawing. Okay, that way I don't mess up the file that I have that I've already submitted for the auxiliary view practice. And maybe we'll update this note here. Call it tolerance note practice. Okay, and I can update my title too. Maybe I'll do that later. Okay, so I need you to open, again, any drawing. So it could be this one, could be a different one. And I need you to pick 3 different dimensions. And we're going to make each one of these dimensions have a tolerance note of each style. One will be bilateral, one will be unilateral, and one will be stacked, or a limit. I'll start with this 1.09. I'm just going to double click on it. And you normally probably have this text tab as the default when you open this. But you have this other tab here, precision and tolerance. So you want to click on that. And then you have these tolerance methods down here. So we're going to do a limit or a stack dimension. That's where we simply list what's the biggest I would accept, the upper limit, and what's the lowest or the lower limit. And so while we want it to be 1.09, let's say that we would accept 1.12. And anything smaller, how about 1.07? Hit OK, and it updates. And that dimension now is a stacked dimension. We're letting the manufacturers know that we'll take anything within that range, and we're not even really giving them a target other than just getting inside this window. This method communicates that we're equally happy anywhere inside that range. The center of this hole, located from the bottom up, I'm going to make that one a unilateral. In Inventor, they call it a deviation. So originally my target was 0.56. Perhaps that is the absolute smallest that I'm going to allow for this distance from the bottom. That if it were to get any closer to the bottom, it's not going to work. But if it's a little higher, perhaps it'll still work. So I'm going to change my upper limit and add how about 0.005. And my lower limit is going to stay 0.00. They've rounded that, so let's over here, the primary unit, it's not that 2.12, this is just showing how many decimal places. So do I want to show 2 decimal places or 3? I'm going to change that to 3. And then let me come back in here and call that 0.005. Nope, tolerance, I need to change that to 3 as well. Move that out. There you go. Okay, so there is a unilateral tolerance. This is the target. This is what I'm going for. But I'm allowing the manufacturer to be over, make that dimension slightly bigger, but not smaller. Okay, and the last one is like a symmetric or bilateral dimension. So I'm going to make this 0.38 be that style. And right here in Inventor, they call it symmetric instead of bilateral. But that means we're going to allow a deviation, a variation off of our target of equal length or equal value in both the positive and negative direction, both bigger and smaller. So here they've got the lower grade out because it's just going to repeat this value for both the plus and the minus. And let's say 0.03. There you go. To finish this off, I would like you to use the text tool, and I would like you to label each of these formats. So this one was called bilateral. And you just have to squeeze this in here somewhere. This one is unilateral. And this one here was stacked. Right click and say OK. You can move those around if you want. You could even make them a different color, right? Just like we've changed the text color before. And when you've got all that done, I'll let you go ahead and submit the snip. And I don't know if you realize this, but you can highlight and you can make some notes, just to highlight what I should be looking at before you hit save. You've got the highlighter tool, you've got the pen tool. It's a little hard to write with your mouse, but you can put your name or tolerance, something here. So if you want to title that, I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I will save it, just maybe to my desktop right now. Tolerance, just because I'm not going to really keep this. This is just an example. Hit save, and then go back and submit this into your Angel Dropbox. Thanks.